Hey, you guys, you already know Negra here, Color Brown Podcast. We restarted the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit all notifications, follow us on Instagram, and don't forget to push like and comment. Let's start the video.
Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get $20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Color Brown Podcast. Before we start, you already know I got to give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey. Keep it hard, guys. And also on today's episode, we have Miss Amanda. Just FYI, you guys, Amanda has been my friend for over 25 years.
Yes.
Since junior high, we've been friends. And we've never really not been friends.
No, we've always been friends.
We've always been friends.
Yeah, when you were gone on vacation and
even when you were gone.
I was on vacation.
Two totally different vacations, you guys. Completely different vacations. You know, we definitely took completely different paths. Mm-hmm. Even though we're exactly the same person.
Yeah, we really are. We really are.
We are,
yeah.
You know? So, Amanda, tell us where you're from, you know, where you grew up. How was the inside of your house growing up?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Northeast LA. I'm raised by a single mom, one of three girls. I'm the middle. My older sister has 4 kids. My younger sister has 2 kids.
Shout out to the sisters.
Hey. They're going to be like, hey. And I have no kids. So, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about, you know, like you going to school, things like that, as far as like, you know, when you were a teenager. What kind of lifestyle was it? You know, okay. Tell us about Miss Amanda. And I'm saying Miss is because her
That's
kids,
what the kids call
her, you know, Miss.
So growing up, I was like, you know, really close with my family. We grew up in a building, you know, everyone knows the building, just cousins, aunts, uncles, you know, just always around and in and out of each other's lives, apartments. I would say if I like just surrounded by a lot of love and support.
Good.
Yeah. I think like junior high when we met, I think like for most people, like junior high just changes everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's when we get into the things we get into. I never really liked school though. Like I had fun when we were in junior high. Remember our middle school was a different time.
We had fun. Yeah, different times.
Yeah. And then even high school, right? That was fun.
We went to Eagle Rock?
Yes, we went to Eagle Rock. Shout out to Eagle Rock. But yeah, I never to say like, oh, I was so like into studying that. Like I wasn't.
And Amanda's never been in trouble. As a teenager.
I would get in trouble, but I like with the law, no. I was.
Well, that's kind of. I guess. That's what I mean. You know, like, never got in trouble.
No. I feel like it was happening around me a lot, but I managed to again surrounded by a lot of love, like cousins that were older than me and doing what they were doing. I think that they had like a really tight grip on me for that. So to say that like it was on me by myself, no. Like my family had a big impact on that. Yeah.
Good. And you graduated high school, all of that.
Yeah, I didn't participate in my ceremony though, because I was short like 1 credit.
Really?
Yes, and the principal like didn't like my cousins and like my family members that went to Eagle Rock, so she didn't let me walk across the stage.
You're kidding.
No.
Because of your family.
Yes, she like hated them. So I think that was like her payback. But I was just kind of like, that's fine. Like I went like a week after graduation and my school counselor at the time handed me my diploma and like shook my hand.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But you went to your prom?
I went to everything. Oh, yeah. Senior year was so fun. I remember I was like going to night school, Saturday school, going an hour before school, like making up all my credits, working, and still like went to the dances, the football games. I was still like having my best high school life.
Oh, good. So, damn, that's kind of sucks though. Like,
yeah.
You work so hard and it's like, okay, you're just giving me this paper. Like, at least let me walk.
Yeah, something. But It's fine. I mean, I still took graduation pictures. Like, my family still celebrated me. So I was like, whatever.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So when you graduated, what did you do next?
So I went to the military. I had 2 cousins in my family that had already enlisted. I never wanted to go to college. I was like I didn't even like school, right? So how am I going to go and further my education when I was having a hard time just being a kid and surviving high school? Yeah, I was like, college, no. So, and my friends, the crowd that I hung out with, like, they were all going to school and they wanted to be teachers and this and that and the other, but I just had like no desire, I didn't have that influence. Everyone worked in my family. Like, nobody was a bum. Like, you don't go to school, you gotta work. You gotta, So, but yeah, the fact that I even went to college, like, I think about it, I look at my degrees on the wall, like, yeah, it's
but that's
pretty
after
interesting.
the fact.
That's after the fact.
After the fact. Mm-hmm. So you went to the military. Where did you go? Which branch?
So I went to the Marines. My cousin was 2 years older than me. I went to his graduation, and I was like, oh, I want to do that too. So I did.
Like some military.
Yeah. And just the challenge, because I was always trying to do something, right? I could never I can do that. No, you can't. I'm like, watch me. So, yeah.
It was more about the watch me for you?
Yeah, at that time, I feel like a lot of 18-year-olds, well, for myself, I didn't think that I had the maturity to really grasp what I was about to get into.
Okay.
But I know a lot of 18-year-olds do. But I think, if you really think about it, 18 years old, you can, go. They're going to give you a weapon. They're going to train you how to defend yourself, the country. That's a lot. That's very intense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And tell me about the boot camp. Tell me about your training. How long you did it for. Tell us a lot. Tell us what we want to hear.
The boot camp was interesting. So during that time, you're talking about, it was still the 90s. It wasn't integrated like the way it is right now. So I went to Paris Island, which was like a culture shock because I had never left Northeast. Like, I didn't know. And I met all kinds of females from like different walks of life, different states. So that part was very impactful. I was just kind of like, wow, for the first time, I wasn't being judged on that's so-and-so's cousin, sister, niece, whatever, it was making a name for myself. So that part I really liked. Like, we were all strangers just trying to do the same thing. So it was a great experience.
So when you said it was an integrated, meaning it was just girls?
It was just females because we trained during that time. We trained separately so that you could stay focused. But I had met females from like Oklahoma, like girls that like grew up on a farm, literally, and I was like, oh wow, okay. And then I also met some females that were Native American from different tribes, and then just integrating. And it's funny because like we all gravitated toward each other
because we're kind of the same.
We're kind of the same, and I think we learned that early on. And I was just kind of like, and just for them to talk about what they do and then like what we do, and it was interesting, but. Yeah, just a lot of different females from all over the country,
And then how long is boot camp anyways?
Boot camp for the Marines is 13 weeks.
Okay, that's not too long. And then your family went?
Yeah, my mom went, my grandma went, 2 of my female cousins went. So yeah. But even then, it was like funny because even at my graduation, my 2 cousins like stood out like sore thumbs because Chicana's from LA. We have a look.
Super chola vibes, you guys. I want you guys to know this. You guys that might not like look at me, at Miss Amanda, but Amanda is a super chola.
Oh my God!
In the heart, like inside of her, like her, she's like this.
Post it up.
No, literally, you guys. So when you get, it's. That's why, like, I'm so happy that, that she was willing, because we've talked about this,
We have.
And then, we talked about it, and she's like, you know what? Let's do it. Mm-hmm. She loves the color brown.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
And she was happy when we brought it back. Yeah. But and that's why, you guys, I wanted her to come on here because, like, everything about Amanda says an LA Chicana girl.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to not forget where you come from, and most importantly, to not be embarrassed and never be ashamed.
Yep.
We've known each other a long time, and like when you came home and you lived in Florida, and we had Facebook at the time, and everyone was like, "Damn, who's that?" And you were just really real with your story, and I was like, "That's my girl," and they're just like, because I was in the Army at the time, right? So everyone's
Oh,
like,
so you went from the Marines to the Army.
Yeah, so I had
Okay, we're going to get to that too, guys.
we had a 10-year gap in service, but I remember my friends just being like, damn, I go, yeah, I don't forget where I come from. Like, it humbled me, and I'm grateful, that I had people who loved me and cared for me and prevented me from getting into trouble and doing certain things. And the friends that I made, like, I don't think anyone should. I hate when people do that when you see them and you know that it's them and they're like, and it's like, why are you acting
bro,
like that?
So fake.
Yeah, like, who cares? Like, who cares? I'm not going to influence you or, so.
You're not that weak-minded, bro.
Right, which is more of a reflection of them than it is of us, right? Yeah.
So you had to. Where did you go? Because you obviously you had to do like the 4-year thing in the Marines.
Yeah. So I came home, and then I'm in my 20s, and I worked, and a lot of stuff was just happening in my personal life. My family, just all of that kind of stuff. I still spoke to my high school friends, but they were like already in relationships. A lot of my friends were already having kids or had kids and were married, and I was at home working. I had a boyfriend at the time. Just living my life. But
when you came back after the 4 years?
No, I didn't complete my 4 years.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not complete my 4 years. So
how long did you complete?
That experience, I would say like altogether it was like a year and a half.
Oh, that's it.
So that's why I say like back to the whole like being 18. Like I think some people like 18 and they know what they want to do, and then others I say like 18's kind of young, right?
Yeah.
I think feel like now 18-year-olds now. I mean 20-something-year-olds. I feel like they're very young-minded now, and I get it, society and all the things, the economy, everything like that. But I always had like that hole in my heart. 9/11 happened, and I felt very guilty because I wanted to go fight. A part of me was still like, I want to go do it, and my family was like, you're crazy, like like
what are you doing?
Yeah. So but when I was 29 and I was working, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
you went back at 29,
which is older. It's not old, but
but you know what, it sounds older.
It does. So I made the decision. I remember like sharing, I worked with my cousins at the time, and one of them I was really close to, and I had shared with her, and she's like, do it. She goes, I know you're not happy here. I know that,
this is not for you.
This is not for you. So go do it. If you feel you need to go do something, go do it.
And you didn't have kids. So it's like, do what you do.
I wasn't like, having to have a family plan or like, I was still living at home with my mom. So I was like, I have to make arrangements, but nothing crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I went and pretty much like talked to a recruiter, which they were like, oh, they knew I was prior service. So they're like, well, you know what to do. Here's the contract, sign your, like, I literally did everything like by myself. It was a different experience, but yeah.
Okay, well, tell us. We want to know all about it. We want to know like the wars times, because it was crazy when you were there.
It was. So I re-enlisted in 2010, right? So 9/11 had already happened. We were in Afghanistan as well.
Did you have to go to the training again?
Yeah, I did, because of the gap in service. But I think like I had to, right? Like that's a lot. 10 years is a long time. Like, I had already gone through so much. I'm like, no, I need to get reintegrated.
I don't even have the strength anymore.
Right? I'm like, get them push-ups. I started running. I got like all skinny. Everyone's like, are you eating? I'm like, I'm getting ready. I was preparing myself mentally and physically, right? Because I knew what to expect. So when I went, it was great. Like I went to MEPS, did my contract. I picked my job. And everyone was just looking at me like, you're crazy. The sergeant major there at the time, like the boss, like wanted to meet me because he had heard about me, and he was just like, why do you want to go? And I was like, honestly, sergeant major, I want to fight. I'm trying to get deployed. And he's like, okay. So I went to training. I did my school. I like left in February of 2011. And by that September, I was already in Afghanistan.
How did you feel? Like, how did you feel when you freaking put the whole suit? I mean, it's not a suit. What are they called?
Like all the gear.
Yeah,
and
the whole
everything?
gear.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
So when I went to the basic training through the Army, I was in Missouri at Fort Leonard Wood. It was like second nature. I think like after going through the Marines and that training, it just comes back to you. Like there's some things like riding a bike, you don't forget.
Yeah.
So when I got everything issued, and I started, and I was telling the girls, like, don't look them in the eye. Make sure you sound off. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, you got to yell back. Don't look them in the eye. Why? I'm like, because you're going to challenge them. Like, stand like this, do that. It just like, even like the day we got our weapons and they're like, who knows how to disassemble? I'm like,
me, yes, sir. go. Say it.
Right here, drill sergeant. And they're just like looking at me like this, Haina. And I'm like,
You guys heard her say hi now, right?
Right
She
here,
literally
that was
uses
the
the
first
word.
one.
She literally uses the word like it's like a thing.
I'm like right here. So then I did it, and I didn't want anyone to like know too much about me as far as like prior service. But they were all kind of looking at me like, like, who is she? And then one day my platoon got in trouble and we went to the pit. It's like a pit of sand. And, you see it on TV, like push-ups, and then you run in place and they're just like smoking you, right? Like trying to exhaust your body. Like it's like a quote unquote punishment. And then my platoon sergeant was like, you guys need to get your together. And so they're like, I asked permission to speak to my platoon. And then he's like, looked at me and he's like, and this is like the top dog. And you look at him and he's the top dog. He goes, what qualifies you to talk to my, to my soldiers, to my privates? And I was like, drill sergeant, I was in the Marine Corps. And he's like, holy shit, carry on then. And I was like, so once I said that, then like everyone started opening up. They thought I was like undercover CID. Because I knew so much. My bun was tight. My uniform, the Marine Corps teaches you that. And I looked a certain way, but that, and then I'd say like,
but you're super chola. You're always tight no matter.
Well, and that was my. She puts creases in her sweats. But yeah, but that too, like the influence of like my family, like don't go looking like trash in the street. Like have pride, right? So I think just all of that embedded in me, and I just, so it was fun. It was fun, and everyone was just looking at me like, "How is this fun?" I'm like, "It's fun." Like,
just accept it. You're taking me down, guys.
All right,
let's go.
Well, yeah, and then they're like 18, so when you're running and working out, I'm like, I'm not letting these girls like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because you're 30.
Yeah, and I'm just like, shh, so I made sure I'm not letting these hyenas get the best of me.
Crunchy ass girl.
Right? I'm like, I'm from Nella. Like what? Like no, I would literally like.
That's how you pump yourself up.
That's how I pump myself up. Is I would talk to myself in my head like when we would run and we were just doing our thing, and I would just like don't forget who you are, where you come from.
Love that.
Like so
love that.
Yeah, looking at my family pictures like.
You're all
doing push-ups to them.
Sound off.
They don't know me. They don't know where it come from. Yeah, doing burpees. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
That's funny, but I love that you're saying that, because there's a lot of young people that do watch. Even Indicted, because this is going to be on Indicted's channel as well. And it's like, hey, you're 18. If you don't have a record, this is something that you guys could do. Like, gives yourself you'll get a career.
Yeah.
Get a career.
If you don't have a plan, which I didn't, that was my only plan. So, and I always tell people when they're like, oh, do you regret it? I'm like, it is the best thing that I ever did in my life. Like, I know some women say that about like their kids or.
I said the shit about prison.
Well,
best thing that happened to me.
But even that experience, it look at like it molded your life to where you are today, right?
Exactly.
So for me, I'm like, serving my country was the best thing I ever did, and the reasons why I wanted to do it at the time, I didn't know later on in life it was going to be so impactful, like my education and like all the benefits that I have now. Like I'm so blessed, like gosh, and then the work I do, and it's just.
We're gonna get there.
It was a great experience.
And tell me about how long were you gone for?
So I did 5 years. I signed up for 4, but I extended my contract. So I went to Afghanistan for 11 months.
Okay, tell us about that, because you're a woman. You kind of what we just hear the guys, but we never hear the woman's side of being deployed.
Yeah. So preparing for it, I think that's. Doing your will, getting your shots, you're still kind of like,
But you had to do a will?
Because you're at home, yeah. Yeah, I had to make sure that...
Did you even do your will?
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on it.
No.
But so I had to make sure that, like the money, if I were to get killed in action or anything happened to me over there, like everything, I didn't want my family to have to worry, especially my mom, you know. So I did that, and then you get all these shots, and Yeah, that was an experience.
Why?
Because like some go in your butt, some go in your legs.
And what are all of these shots for?
So it's just like a yellow fever, and then there's like the whole anthrax. It's just everything to measles, everything so that you don't get sick when you're overseas. Because there's a lot of diseases, you know, in the third world countries. So yeah, and then the traveling, and you don't know how you're gonna react.
What about being on one of those planes?
Yeah, that was so. I think even then, right, like. You know, yeah, you just like the day that I left, I said bye to my mom, got on the bus, and I'm like smiling, and she's like crying, waving to me, and I'm not crying. I'm just like pumped, like, you know, I didn't cry because I knew what I signed up for, and that's why I wanted to go. So, you know, you go to the airfield and they give you like a buffet of food, and you think back on it and you're like, that's kind of messed up. Like my last meal, you know what I mean? It was like steak, lobster, desserts, like anything you could want and drink was there. They send you off, like our commanding general at the time was of the base I was at, you know, he says a speech to you, the sergeant major's there, the band is there playing, and you're like walking to the, you think back, it's kind of morbid.
How cool is it though? Like,
it was cool. Yeah. I think like I always laugh, people are like the things you remember. I think when it was nighttime when we traveled, when we started our journey, and the band was playing Eye of the Tiger from Rocky. So when I hear it, I'm like, you know, it still bumps me up.
Well, yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So then you get in the plane, you have your little hand
on the plane.
Everything.
Yeah. So we just got on like normal.
So you guys, is it like in the movies? Are you guys like
not right away? Like the C-17. No. You get on regular aircraft, and then we flew to the East Coast. I think it was Rhode Island. So you stop at like the USO there, and it's like a 2 to 3 hour layover. And it's really beautiful because when you come off the terminal, there's like veterans and people like waving flags like for what you're about to go do. And then that's when I was like, yeah, I was like, real. Man, I'm about to go do this. So it's a long travel. You sleep on the plane a lot. They wake you up, and the flight crew is just like amazing. Like all these civilians, like that's what they do. And it's so cool, like the way that they make us feel, you know, like calm, and because I'm sure they've seen it all. Like people get sick, scared, nervous, and that's a normal reaction. Yeah, like I want to jump off, you know. Yeah. So we get there, we land in Romania, and then Romania, and then we fly into Kuwait. From Kuwait, we do like an overnight, and then that's when we get on the C-17. We're like Kevlar, like, you know, like we have our weapons, and we're just like, and then that's when I was like,
you're so good with the guns.
We won't say why, but yeah, but that's when I was like, okay, it looked like the movies, like, you know, we were like, and it was the daytime, and we got on, and I went inside, and it's really loud, so you have like earplugs, but you're just looking. And I was fortunate, I had like some people that I went to basic training with in the Army, and
nice.
So we just kind of looked at each other like, and I had a female sit next to me, and we kind of like held each other hand and squeezed it like, here we go, like this is what we signed up for. Yeah. So then we landed at an airfield in Afghanistan. And then even then I was like, oh, this is where we are. And they're like, no, we have one more stop. So I'm like, well, damn, like, you know. So then the cool part, like we had a Chinook come that. It looked like it's like the movies. It's like blacked out. It's nighttime. We had to like front load our rucks, like the big pack that we carry. And we got on the Chinook, and it's just like, okay, like, cause
what is a Chinook?
It's the aircraft that has like the two propellers. It's like and then you see like the gunman. It was like real, and I was like, here we go. And then like my leaders, there was already like some of my leaders, it was already like their 5th deployment. They had went to Iraq, and that was like some of them was like their 2nd time in Afghanistan. So they were like pumping us up so we wouldn't psych ourselves. Yeah, they were like, here we go, like, you know. So it was like a movie. Like the adrenaline was there, and it's just like. And then like less than 24 hours after that, we get where we're going. It's like a little company operation base, and I went on my first mission. I got on a truck, and that mission lasted like 20 hours. A lot happened.
Really?
And I was like, but it like broke us in like.
And what was your job?
I drove the trucks. I drove, and I was a gunner. And I was a gunner. I drove, and I was in open turret, like the gunman at the top. Yeah, we switched. We went back and forth, so I got to do both.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. An experience.
That is crazy. Oh, you fools, man. These fools are the guy you be thinking of doing too much, man.
You ain't shit. No. Yeah. Yeah. But it was, I think, I'm glad it happened. Like, you know, excuse the phrase, but it's called getting your cherry popped. Like anything that could happen happened on that first mission. And then that's when I was kind of like, okay.
It opened you up to...
I was like, here we go. What was interesting was a lot of males that you wouldn't have expected to react the way they, like a lot of it, like one was like deadly scared. He was like, I don't want to do this, which is, I think it's like a really normal reaction.
You're supposed to feel that way.
I'm like, well, none of us really want to do this. Like, yeah, we want to serve our country and this is part of it. But anyone who really says, which like, again, I've never been to prison, but I'm sure it's like, there's a reality check of, fuck, what did I get myself into? Right.
Like you have to think that.
Yeah. Like, what am I doing? So to see that, I was very like, cause it was like the last, you know, like he was like from middle America, like had been around weapons, comes from like generations of like World War I and on, right? In his family.
Wow.
And yeah, he was like...
He's probably forced. He didn't want to let disappoint his family, but it's not really what he wanted to do.
Looking back at it now, like as a therapist, I'm like, okay, I understand a little bit more.
Therapist, by the way. Yes.
We're going to get to that. I understand it more, but I felt for them. But then I also understand like the generational trauma, right? Of like, this is what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So, but I felt really bad for him because I saw a couple of guys just that I never would have thought, just it really got to them mentally.
Broke them.
And like right away too.
Wow.
So
tell me about you though. Tell me about how did the men behave like towards you and I don't mean in any negative manner.
Like, I
don't mean like sexually. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk about that. Like, I mean, obviously we could, but I don't mean like that. I mean, as far as like you're down, like you're willing to do what you got to do, and there's no, even if you have fear, you're not showing it because that's not who you are.
Yeah,
you know, like tell me about that for you.
So I think for me, I was told like very bluntly during that time of, you know, women are looked at in two ways in the military, against. Excuse my language, but you're either a hoe or you're and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be a bitch because I'm not gonna, you know, let them try to punk me. I'm not gonna let them think that, you know, I'm little miss so-and-so from this, like, nah, fool, I'm from Northeast LA. Like, try me if you want to. Like, I had to come with that, but in a professional manner, and I did. Like, the way I carried myself, the way, just everything that I spoke, and I was just very, you know, like if they, like somebody tried to flirt with me and I would just like make them feel stupid because I'm like, you're not going to do that to me, you know, because from day one, I had such great leaders too. Like, I'm going to see them this year. I'm so excited because one's retiring, but I'm so grateful for them because they gave it to me real because I was older and they knew like where I'm from and they could just tell like, oh, okay.
She's a real one.
Yeah. So they just gave it to me straight. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not trying to deal with all of that. I've come this far and survived all I've survived. And then again, just remembering like what I was taught in my family and like, no, we don't do that. Like, you're not going to do that to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Love that. And because you were there for 5 years.
Yeah.
A lot of different things happened. Mm-hmm. You grew in different ways.
Yeah.
Tell us about those 5 years.
So I knew I wanted to make sergeant. Like that was my goal. Right. So I knew I had to work hard. So 2.5 years I did. So I just, you know, did all the things that nobody wanted to do.
Like,
who wants to do this training on, I don't know, just anything. I'll do it. Or this needs to be clean. Go do it. Like just any little thing, you know, somebody needed help, go help them. Or, you know, who wants to stay late? I will. Like I didn't go with a husband, kids. Like I had all the time in the world. And then there's courses you can take online. I took the courses. I did everything and anything. I worked really hard. I stood out of trouble. Like I was 29 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in the barracks, which is like a college dorm. And these kids are getting like buck wild. And I'm like, you know, so I was like looking out for them. Like, you know.
You're
like,
the tia.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I was like, you know, I said, I'm here. Like, if you guys get drunk, call me. Like, I'll go pick you up. Like, I've already been there, done that. But be careful. And like telling the young girls, like, don't let them in your room. Like, come and see me. Come talk to me. Like, you know. So just things like that just were normal because, right? Like, just like with you, you're not going to like see somebody like, oh, yeah, well, that's her problem. Like, no, that's especially in the military. Like, we're family. So just doing things like that, like, you know, but I was hungry. And I wanted my stripes.
So she had to get her stripes, girl. She had to get her stripes.
Yeah.
So you became a sergeant.
Yeah, I worked hard. I took the courses. I went to the board where like you sit in front of people just trying to break you down and make fun of you. And they all called like my nickname early on, hey, fucking chola. And I'm just like, why you gotta call me that? You know, like just like you know, the typical.
But it's like inside you like it.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, they, you know, I was in a unit with a lot of other Chicanos, like from Texas. One was from San Diego, so they got it, you know. So they were like, freaking chola. Yeah. So like, I got lucky, you know. Nobody messed with me, and you know, I feel like they had my back, and like their wives and their families. Like I met them early on. I used to babysit. You know, I stood out of trouble because I was like, I'm not here for that. That's not what I'm here for.
So you became a sergeant. What does a sergeant consist of? Like, what is their like? What do the sergeants do?
So sergeants, I mean,
for people that don't know, like myself, you know.
Well, I think like just like with anything, it's a leadership position. So I had soldiers under me that I was in charge of, and a lot of paperwork, like a lot of like responsibility, you know. And then you're talking about like when you go to war, like I'm responsible for bringing people home. Like I have to make sure
because you went to war.
It's me before them. Yeah. So when I was in Afghanistan, I was a private, and I got promoted over there. But when I went to Jordan we were on a mission to train the Jordanian army. So I trained the female Jordanian army to go to Afghanistan to prepare them because I had already gone. So that was neat. So it's like looking in the mirror at another female, but she's from another country.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a really, really cool experience.
And how did you communicate?
We had an interpreter, but a lot of them spoke English. Like some of the most beautiful women.
Did you have to speak to them like super?
We did, and then at first.
Can you give me an example?
So like you're respectful at first, you know, a Muslim country. So like, and I had already known from being in Afghanistan. So I had scarves, and I was telling my new.
You would cover yourself as well.
Yeah, my newer females, like cover your hair and be respectful because this is their country, and you know we're here. So be respectful and cover yourself. So like day one, you know, we took them out to the 9mm, the handgun range, and it was like kind of a little awkward because you're getting to know each other. But then just right, like, but just like females, like we bonded, and I felt so fortunate because they were like, you know, do you get to train with the males? And I'm like, yeah. And then, oh yeah, they don't get to do that. So what about when you're in the field and you're like, where do you sleep? I go in the tent with the guys. Yeah, those are my brothers. Like, and they were just like, you're so lucky. And I'm like, you know what, I am, because even though they were serving their country, there was still restrictions on them.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like you're over here doing this, but these like you still can get protected by them because they matter more than they do.
Yeah.
Kind of like a thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like a double standard. Like I'm good enough for this, but not this, which a lot of us experience right now in this country, right? But yeah, so just it was a beautiful experience, and then just them getting to share their stories of why they were serving, you know. So it was nice. I have like pictures of, you know, with them, and we were allowed to go to certain places. So they were telling us like where to go in town. I was like, where can I get some makeup? They're like, oh, go to this store, you know. So it was really cool to like, nice. Just like, you know, girls being girls.
Being girls. Yeah. You went to war, you're saying?
I did. I went to Afghanistan. Yeah, I was in combat, so I'm a combat veteran.
Wow. Yeah. Meaning you were there when it was actually
when we were active. Yeah.
Can you okay, maybe not the craziest, because you know, like get something that's like the craziest thing that you remember. Obviously, you're not gonna say exactly what.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, you could at the end of the day. We're not in prison, guys. we got the government, which is worse.
We're not there anymore. We pulled out. I think. I mean, there's a lot of stories
that stands out. Like, you know,
that stands out. So it was a day, like we had mission that night. So we were like prepping our trucks, just getting ready. And then we would go to sleep for a certain amount of hours so we can get up and, you know, hit the road. And, you know, we were allies with the Afghan army. So at the gate, we can hear them, you know, because we were guarding the gate, we could hear them call something in. And we're like, what the hell's going on? And you see like 2 Afghan trucks, like they drive like Toyota trucks. They're not like our Humvees, like our armored vehicles, right? So we hear them and we look, and yeah, like one guy, he has both his legs. So we had to help get them into where our medics were. They had to work on them, and then they were going to be medevaced, so they were going to be airlifted out of there.
Because they didn't have the legs.
Yeah, and then, you know, there's only so many of us there where we were. We were in a small little area, and we had to help, like, take them and get them lifted out.
Wow.
So we were told, like, some of them made it, some of them didn't. But yeah, I was just like, wow.
And you ever been in like in a situation, obviously, like I always reference back to like the movies, you know, like when they're on the floor and they're just like running for like, you know, like this with their guns, like.
I got to, I was real fortunate. My first sergeant was a female. So like our boss of bosses, right? She was from Georgia. She was like the best. Like everyone was scared of her, but she did her job. Like she didn't take crap from nobody. And I admired her for that. Like she was a good example. We had a female engagement team and they were like, oh, they want to take some of us out. There was a village across the way. And she asked me, like, it's okay to say no. But I go, oh, no, First Sergeant, I want to go. She goes, I knew you'd say yeah. That's why I dropped your name. I'm like, let's go. So we drove across and we're on foot. Like, yeah. And we walked and we had our interpreter and we had security. But, like, really, you're just out in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not your country.
Super scary.
Yeah. It was snowing during that time, too. So I was like, okay, running's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the snow was, like, up to your knees.
Really? And you're just there with your
Yeah,
stuff.
so you're just there. Like, I covered my hair. I was like, you know, not to be too aggressive, but not to appear to be so relaxed, right?
Yeah.
So we went into the village, and, you know, some people, you could just see it on their faces. They were happy to see you, and others, they didn't want you there. And then as soon as they look at me and, like, figure out you're a female and a female soldier, they're like, yeah, no.
Because female soldiers are more tougher.
Yeah, and then, and then they just, you know, a lot of women in that country, you know, and it was the area we were, you know, Wardock province. It's a province, it's farm. It's like the rancho, right? Like very old school mentality, the culture. It's just not like if you're in Kabul in like a major city, they're just very old school with it. So women, it's like, you're like,
like, damn, sorry, you can be yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so
sad.
Yeah, it was sad, but it was good. We went to try to talk and just get intel, like just try to get information on the Taliban. Yeah, well, no, he was already he was already when I was in school. Yeah, he was already gone. Yeah, that happened before I went.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple months before I went, that had already happened. I was having breakfast on a Saturday morning after I ran 10 miles, and I looked, and me and one of my sisters, my sister in arms, we looked, and she looked at me, and she's like, and I was like, oh damn, they got him. I was like, hey, we're still going, but they got him. Like, it's, yeah, now they're gonna be mad.
And you know? every when can you come, like, if you're deployed?
So Congress passed a bill. You have to come on R&R, rest and relaxation, right? So
like you have to.
You have to. You can't. You can go anywhere you want. You don't have to go home. I could have picked to go on vacation. Like somebody I knew went to Hawaii. Like I ain't going to see my family. Like I hate them. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm like bye. Yeah, and that's a good deal. Like you get 7 days. I mean, spend it how you want.
Oh.
So after I chose to be like, I wanted it as far as I wanted. People were like, I want to go home for Christmas. I'm like, I'm not going to do that to my head or my family. Like, I already said bye. I'm not going to be here. Like, do what you do. I love you guys. Send me pictures. But I chose Mother's Day. I was like, well, what about May? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I want to be home for Mother's Day for my mom.
Oh, that was nice.
So that's the time I chose to come home.
Got it.
Yeah. But I got to be honest, after the third day, I was like,
we gotta go.
I gotta go back. Yeah, you feel like I need to go back because I'm not home. Like I'm home and I see everyone and it was beautiful. My sister threw me a party. You know, my baby sister, she's crazy. So she's like, oh, we're gonna have a party. Nice. Yeah, live band and all out, right? But yeah, and then Mother's Day, but I was like, all right.
I gotta go.
Like, I gotta go. I was so worried about what was happening, like emailing every day. Like, you know, everyone's like, just be on. I'm like, no, like, I wanna go. Like, I have to stay 7 days. They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, all right.
Wow. Yeah. So you came back.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like what kind of food did you guys eat?
So they have like the cooks, our own cooks and everything. But honestly, and that's when I started drinking almond milk. Because I looked at the cows over there and I was like,
Like, what are they feeding these foods?
I'm not having dairy. So, like, we had our MREs, our cooks cooked. But I was on mission a lot, so I told my mom.
Fisher's always on the mission.
I told my mom to send me the cup of pasta, you know, because we don't say the other word. So, like, top ramen, and then I told her, like, oh, send me, like, lemon juice and tapatio, send me coffee.
Yeah, just send me a couple soups.
Thank you. Send me some soups, and then, like, Trader Joe's stuff, like trail mix, like
so
snacks.
You are able to receive stuff from home.
Yeah, so the post office at the time had these boxes, and whatever you could fit in that box, didn't matter how much it weighed, weighed, it was one flat rate.
As long as it was going to with you guys.
So my family, they were constantly sending me packages.
Oh, love that.
Feminine hygiene, like things that you just, a lot of baby wipes. It's all about the baby wipes. Because like your face, your T-zone. Yeah, I told my sister, like, can you send me some probiotics and stuff? My older sister, I'm like, she goes, oh yeah. I go, I don't want to get sick, like bacteria, we're females.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't shower every day. I do the best I can, but it's still not a shower. So like,
oh shit. So there's no showers?
No, like some places, there was no showers.
When you're on the missions?
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah. See how to figure it out, get creative. But I'm like,
you had to like sleep in the tanks, things like that.
We slept in the truck. I would just sleep in my seat, my driver's seat, and I had like my sleeping bag, and I just like lock my door and sleep against my door. Yeah,
you've seen those pictures.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you did. You saw them, and you sleep, but you don't really sleep
because you're not safe.
Yeah, you're not. You're just resting. Yeah, just taking shifts and.
And that's how it was, though, 5 years. Why did you decide to take another year?
So my time was coming to an end where I was going to be, discharged. Like I served my time. But then before we knew we were going to Jordan, they said we were going to go back to Afghanistan. So I'm like, I'm not missing that. There's no way I'm going back. If you guys are going, I'm going. So then I extended my contract to...
Really?
Yeah, I extended so that I could go.
When you say there's no... I'm not missing that. Like, what is it that... Like, you like... you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it like the adrenaline of like, running with the guns, you in the tank, fucking... you know what I'm saying?
Tank
like,
girl.
I mean, I'm saying. Yeah. It's like... The guys in the gangs.
Yeah, if you think about it, and you could probably relate to it. I mean, other than like missing your son, it's easy living. Yeah, it's easy living. Like you live out of a few bags, right? And you just gotta make sure you don't die, right? And if you do, okay, right? That's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just day and day.
Did you have any close calls?
Getting dirty. Yeah, we had close calls.
Like you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you always
like some bombs and you like throw yourself kind of shit.
Oh my god!
I mean, I gotta
ask. We had close calls, because we're all always together. No one's ever by themselves. I think we had like oh shit moments. Where you're just like, oh shit. But I think the hardest thing is when someone's having an oh shit moment. Like when you're in a convoy and they're in the truck in front of you. That's hard. That's hard to watch.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like they're okay. They're okay. But like when it's happening, you're just like.
For example, like in the movies. Like,
yeah.
There's two trucks and there's one in the front and one gets like exploded.
Right.
Kind of like that?
Like that. Oh. Like to see a truck just go up and do a spin and then just come back down.
Yeah, that's super scary.
Yeah. And you're
super
just,
traumatizing.
Very traumatizing. And then, because the people in it, like it just happens so fast. Like you don't realize it's happening and then it happens. But to see it and you're just like, and then
you can't help
the vehicle I drove the medevac. So I drove the ambulance, like the medic. So no matter what happened, I had to get to wherever something was happening. So yeah, but they were okay.
She's a driver, you guys.
She's a driver. She'll drive you. So yeah, that was like, it's hard to watch because you feel like you can't do anything.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't go out there and like, what if it blow your ass up?
Yeah, but then to see them, like they were okay, it just shows you like the vehicles, like our country's freaking awesome. Like I don't know, I mean, I get everything else, all the other political stuff that's happening, but our country's freaking awesome. Yeah. Like the things that we have access to, and like it's amazing. Like it's amazing, but. Yeah,
I'm like, things we have access to. Like, what? It's like, tell us what we have access to.
Share with us. I'm gonna get a call after this. Like, what's wrong with you? No. But yeah, it's just it makes you a different perspective, and you're grateful for sure. And yeah, it just makes you look at life very differently.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Right. So you come back. You did your whole 5 years.
Yes. So I come back. I come back home to, the building. Yeah, to the building, and live with my mom. And life slowed down a lot. And then that's when other stuff starts popping up. That's when like the PTSD.
Oh, good. Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah. So I knew I was adjusting. It was like the excitement of being home. But my mom was telling me like I was screaming in my sleep.
Really?
Because she would come and like wake me up. Right. So I came home with like pamphlets and stuff. Like you get like a week of some BS classes. A week's not enough. Like you're getting ready to go back to civilian life. Here's all your paperwork. Here's your resources. Bye. That's really not enough time to transition. Right.
Yeah.
But that's just the reality of what it is. That's why like they have the VA and everything else or whatever. So yeah, apparently I was like screaming in my sleep and I started to notice things. And then I noticed like the depression was creeping in. Just the reality. You're like a hero, and then you come home and you're just like everybody else, and it feels like, okay,
Like, what did I do this for?
yeah. So then,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah. So then I got unemployment. You could get it for up to a year, but I was like, I can't sit still. I knew I still wanted to serve, and then I looked online, and I knew I had decided when I was on active duty that I wanted to work with kids. Like I wanted to mentor or do something. So when I came home and I was looking at jobs online, that's when Optimist Youth Homes popped up, and I was like, oh. And then that's how the journey of where I'm at. That's like when it all started. So like 2016.
2016. So you started doing that. And you were also in a relationship, or no? When did you get in your relationship?
I got in my relationship.
Because we want to talk about this as well, you guys. Not because of anything, but because we want...
It's going to make sense.
It's going to make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what it is. And, so you came back. Did you get right into the relationship, or how did that
No,
work?
I started working first.
Okay.
Fell in love with that. And then around like a few months after I had started working, then that's when I got into my relationship.
She was a prison girlfriend for a long time, you guys.
5 years.
Prison girlfriend for 5 years. So... Tell us about you going to, you were going through, obviously you're still adjusting to
Yes.
the world, to outside here. And now you're working with the kids, at the, what's it called? How do you say it?
The Optimist Youth Home. So a group home of like kids that are in the juvenile system.
Okay.
Like fresh out of the halls, and then like they have to do the remainder of their time there, or it's a transition because they're gonna.
Is that thing it's still open?
It's still open, but I think it's changed a little bit from when I last worked there. I'm not, but it is still open. I'm just not sure. I don't want to give false advertisement on what. But during that time, it was still residential, so we had different dorms and.
Got it.
Yeah, and that had been around since we were
For a long
kids
time,
ourselves. Remember, we'd go to school with some of them. They'd be in the back of the class, like, "Oh, you can't talk to nobody." But you're like, "Hey,"
So you were like, "Hey,
how are you?" So I had started working there, and then a childhood friend of mine was talking to somebody in prison. So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna send a picture." I'm like, "Whatever, I don't care," And I was in it. She liked the way she looked in the picture. I'm like, "It's fine, whatever, I don't care." Not even thinking anything. And then she tells me like, "Oh, so and so said hi," and I was like, "How did that even happen?" Like, "Oh, he saw a picture of you," and I'm like, "Oh." Like, damn, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I knew he was away. I just didn't know, like, where he was, I'm like, okay, like, we grew up together. Our families knew each other, and then from being from the same area. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then, like, oh, he wants to know if he could call you. I'm like, yeah, tell the fool to call me. Like, I didn't care.
You're just, you're back, and you're just
like an old friend,
Yeah.
like somebody that, like, I knew from, like, I hadn't seen him since I was in high school because he got in trouble after that, and then I had heard he went away. So I was like, okay, I'll tell him, And then, we talked that first day, and it was an all-day conversation. And it kind of took off from there.
Yeah, and then you were going to prisons.
Yeah, so we built a relationship, and then I signed the visiting form. My mom wasn't too happy, about that. And I was still living with her at the time. So we would write a lot, talk on the phone. I remember I had to like open a P.O. box. My mom was like, "I don't want his letters coming here." And I'm like, he doesn't want to write here anyway, I went to see him. I started going. I would go like every weekend and every day talking, calling. I was still, and then was working there. He wasn't like too happy about me working there, which isn't why I left, but it just got like kind of out of control.
Controlling, you're saying?
Yeah, like they just, like it got too political. And
at the school?
Yeah, sorry,
okay.
at the school. And then, so I switched jobs. And I had started my bachelor's program when I was on active duty in the Army.
Okay.
So then I was like, I'm going to go back to school, use my GI Bill. So I was doing online schooling and then working full time and visiting him.
Oh, and that's how time went by so fast.
It did. I was real busy. writing papers, doing things, which there were times I was like, I can't visit this weekend, I have a paper due, or, I can't talk right now, like, love you, but I got to do this. So, yeah.
You were just getting yourself together.
Getting myself together. Yeah.
Getting yourself together. So what happens? Where are you? Like, what happens?
So that happens, 5 years. I think after the first year and a half, he got transferred because I kind of told him, like, look, like, I know we know each other, but, like, I don't want to be a prison wife. Like, nothing against my prison wives. Love you all. But for me, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, where I've been and where I want to go, like, that's just not going to work. So, I go, so if you want to stay together, like, you got it. And he wanted to get it together. So I just supported him in that. Like, he went to a prison that just had more available to him. Like more programming and, like the Gogi and all that. So, yeah. So we were doing that for a while. And then COVID happened, right? What COVID happened? What, like 2020? So they took the visits, right? Like, you couldn't go visit. So I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, we'll be okay, right? It's fine. And then when the visits happened, you had to mask up, but you couldn't have contact. You couldn't sit next to each other or kiss. And I think that's when I started to notice a little bit of a change. Like, well, why are you even going to come if you can't do that? And I'm like, just to sit and talk and, like, go to the vending machine and
talk.
Get you freaking some tacos and, like, aguacate. Like, who cares, Okay, fine. And then he had a cousin that passed away that he grew up with that was like his brother. And then another change started happening, which rightfully so. So I started noticing a shift a little bit. But I was trying to be supportive and understand it. And then it slowly, like, this is like the 5th year, so our last year together, I started here. During that last year, I moved out of my mom's. I got the place I'm at now, and things were looking good. I'm like, okay, because when you come home, I want you to come here. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen, if they were going to let him come home to the area or what the restrictions were going to be. So I was just preparing, and I thought we were on the same page. And then I kind of just stopped hearing from him. I sent his package for his birthday and, like, all kinds of birthday cards like I usually do. I mean, I had everything down to a science. And everything got sent back. I noticed the money got sent back to my account. And I'm like, okay. And the birthday cards got sent back. And I think, like, one of the COs, like, must have had pity on me or something, because he or she wrote on the back of one of the envelopes, like, he got transferred. This is where he's at. And it was to the halfway house. And I knew their address because prior to that, like, when he was preparing for board, I helped him with everything. I did the letters, like, here, sign this. I did all the legwork and, like, all the hard stuff. Yeah, I was case managing pretty much. But yeah, I helped because, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, I got ghosted. I think I had talked to you during that time. I didn't really understand why. Can't say I really understand why now. But yeah, it happened, and I became a statistic, which really, really pissed me off. Like, after everything I had gone through, after all I was doing, like, this is 2021, I had just turned 40. And I'm like, really? This is where I'm at 40 years old?
Do you think that's what hurt the most?
Yeah. Like, I invested in him. In our future, and I thought, like, this is it. And what better than somebody I know? Like, I didn't go on a website, again, not knocking the women that do, but he was familiar to me. Like, like, we knew each other. We come from the same area, and A through Z, he was familiar to me. A lot of people weren't happy about it. I respected that. I didn't do certain things. I got off social media because I don't really...
She doesn't have social media.
I don't have social media, guys. I'm working on it. Sorry. It's been like 7 years now. But I respected him. I go, yeah, I get it. Like, I invested, So when that happened, I had already had my own place, and it just, like, I went through a lot.
He's probably going to hate us because he's going to watch this shit.
He is.
Sorry, Dick.
I mean, I don't, we've had conversations. I just think it's like, yeah, the statistic of, like, it can happen to you, right? Like, and, I'm not going to talk about all the other stuff, but no one's untouchable from getting their heart broken, right? And
like, you never thought it would... Like you, not you.
Like, not like that. Not like that. So, I became depressed. You know, I ate my feelings because drugs and alcohol were just not going to be an option for me. So I ate my feelings, gained all kinds of weight, got it together, lost the weight, and worked. I was doing case management at that time for like a company that does housing, but with adults. And it was a lot. It was intense. I could handle it, but it was just like
so you were going through so much with your personal life, and then you're working for this place, where it's like even more intense. So it's like you're not able to like even breathe.
And I was like, something's got to give. So like one day, it's like 2022, and I'm still like grieving the relationship in a healthy way. Like I got my health back in check, like, you know, spending time with my friends, and everyone was afraid to talk to me about it. Like, because I kept our relationship private as far as like I didn't share too much with anyone. They knew like oh, she's with him, like, and that was it. Like if I'd be at a party and he'd call, like say hi, like he knew my comadres, he knew everybody, pictures, faces, names, got it. They were like, hey, can't wait till you come home, you know. But I feel like nobody wanted to talk to me about it. And I couldn't talk to anyone about it because I didn't want to hear the I told you so. And I didn't want to get the pity looks of like, you know, yeah. And I didn't want them to look at him in a bad way either. Like even after all that, like F him. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, don't say that. You know, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't even know the reasons why, but don't say that.
Because you're you.
Yeah. And I don't.
You're not a hateful person.
No.
And you know, like.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you don't know, but you know that it's not right for you to feel that way because you don't know his reasons.
Yeah.
And even if you did, probably not that it matters, right?
Right.
Because the point is that you went through that and you still feel that way. You know, you still feel those feelings here and there, and like, or even just like, for example, like the whole prison wife, prison girlfriend things. It's like, girls, you know, this is not for everybody, but you know, not all relationships turn out to be bad. But it's like, this is the risk that you have to take, you know?
But it's a risk with any relationship. You know, I had, when I was going through my breakup, like some of my friends' marriages were breaking up. They were having affairs and stuff. And in my head, I was like, everyone's asking questions behind my back instead of to my face. But look at your man. He ain't no better. I was like very defensive of him, you know, and people are still like, why are you talking? I'm like, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, I know his history. I know where he comes from. I know the things he's been through. And I've told you, like, I don't regret all that I did or helping him. Everyone deserves a second chance. And it's what you do with it, right? Yeah. But everyone deserves that chance to come home and be happy.
Yeah.
Whatever that happiness looks like for you, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, somebody's going to comment on this like, oh, yeah, right, you're full of shit. You know you hate him. You're like, but no, like I still have all of the, you know, when I'm ready, I still have like my drawings, my letters. I still kept everything. Everything's just put away. My artwork is like up in my apartment because it was for me and it goes with my style and everything. And
or chola vibes, you guys.
My chola vibes. My little chola vibes. But yeah, so 2022, I'm like case managing. I'm sitting in my office doing paperwork and loving what I do, but like there has to be more, and this has to make sense of the work that I'm doing. And I still wanted to work with the kids. Like I was working with adults, but I still was like,
adults are kind of rough, huh?
They are. Like the first day I was there, I had a girl, like she got placed there and she was like ODing on heroin. And then like 2 weeks after that, we had another girl come in and she was like looking for heroin, like, you know. And
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you go for, like, in your head, like you're at war and you're like going through all of this stuff, and then you come home and you're like dealing with these fools. I don't mean it like that, you guys.
No, yeah, it's an adjustment. But I think, again, like coming from where we come from and growing up, you know, it wasn't all bad. I'm not saying like, you know, I lived in the projects of my family, you know, whatever. But I think it was just like the humble beginnings that we come from, right? Like no one's better than the next person.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them, like they have paperwork in a file, and you get to read of a little bit about their past.
Got
and
it.
It's like, oh,
now you get it.
Okay, this is coming from somewhere. But I noticed that they would come seek me out and sit in my office and talk to me. So then I'm kind of like, I need to just go back to school already. I need to go to grad school because I had already gotten my bachelor's in criminal justice and I minored in human services.
She's a smart one, you guys. A super smart one.
I wanted to be a probation officer and go work in the juvenile camps. But, you know, I have a lot of family in college. And so I couldn't, and I tried different counties. I thought I was a shoo-in for LA. And then when I showed up for my polygraph, there was a retired homicide detective from Northeast Police Station. And I was like, yeah, I'm not getting this job. But I tried, and I thought like, oh, I'm a combat veteran, but all of that didn't matter. They still judged me based on other
family.
things. Yeah, on my bloodline, which I was like, shove it up your, whatever. But I just realized now that wasn't my calling. Like, So 2022, working with the adults and housing, I said, this has to make sense. And then I went back to grad school. I know I'm like kind of thirsty. So I went to, I applied for grad school. And then one of my leaders, my old leaders in the Army, told me about a program, Chapter 31, because I was a combat veteran and all of these other benefits I had to apply for it, and that they would pay for my grad school. And I'm like, so I applied for the money for the loan. Well, it wasn't a loan, but for the funding. And then I applied for grad schools. And then I literally the same week found out that I got both. And then I started August of 2022.
Really?
I started grad school.
And you just graduated.
I graduated last year, yeah.
I posted her too. I think I posted her on my Instagram. So if you follow Indicted, yeah.
Yeah. It went viral. Again, I have no social media. They're like, we're trying to tag you. I'm like, you're not going to find me.
I'm like, you need to get it, especially because what you do.
Yeah.
You want to have your own practice. Tell us what you want to do.
So I want to still work with the kids. Like the goal is, you get licensed. I want to eventually start a private practice, but I still want to work. I'm an associate marriage and family therapist.
She's a therapist, guys.
Yeah. So I can work with anyone, any group. I could do couples. I could do kids.
Hey, that's so good.
Yeah. I'm excited. I work with, I'm at a middle school in the LA area now, and I work with kids from 12 to 15. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then I also see some of their parents also. So, yeah.
What's the hardest thing about what you do?
Hearing the stories, I would say. Just reminding, like when I meet my clients, just reminding them, like I'm still a mandated reporter. So like if you report that you're being abused, physically, emotionally, you're thinking of hurting yourself or someone else, or you give me permission, or elderly abuse, I have to report it. Like, just remember that. Like those, you can talk to me about anything and everything you're comfortable with, but if you tell me something like that, I have to report it, But yeah, hearing their stories. The generational trauma that still happens. And just the things that, like seeing ourselves in these kids. It's like, so countertransference is a thing, and just reminding myself and being mindful of that. But some of the stories they say, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yep, I get, when they're like, you feel me, miss? And I'm like, I don't, but please tell me. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Because your kids, your clients, obviously they're not supposed to know anything about you or your background or anything. They just know you're their therapist.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I get a lot of consultation from our director. She's amazing because I practice under her license. So I go to her for guidance, and then I have my mentor. He's amazing. And they're like, look, whatever you're comfortable sharing. Because it got to the point where I was like, they were already calling me out. These kids are smart, especially like the way they grow up, and their senses are so high, right? It's like, I always like tell people, like, not that kids are dogs, but they could smell your bullshit. They know when you're lying. They know when you're not being honest. They know when you're not being authentic. They know when you're being fake, and they're going to call you out on it. Like, they're not going to sit there and tell you their problems.
No.
If they,
I agree.
So some of the kids, so like I have my office decorated, and then, I have all of my drawings from college. And one of my coworkers, a teacher, she went to Franklin, so she's from our community too. And she goes, you should frame them and hang them. And it's all like our cultura stuff, right? And I'm like, she goes, because they need to, They know. And I'm like, okay. Not that like on casual Fridays and Mondays, like, the girls are like, miss with your chola earrings. And I'm like, oh my God, like they're funny, right? But, I think that they understand, they could see it, And then, so like I tried that, I did that, and they were like, kept looking and talking to me. Miss, where is that from? And I like took the frame and showed the back of it, because they got to stamp everything, and they were just like, Miss, I knew it. I go, you knew nothing. Stop it. And you know, and they're just like, so they're starting
They just
to
feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
knowing that, hey, even though you can't actually tell them, but they know that you can relate,
Yeah.
to their lives,
Right.
and one way or
another. Like telling me, I live here, like when they live in like the projects and saying like the actual what's on a map, what's on Google. I'm like, no, call it what we call it. And then when I say it, they're like, well, yeah, miss. And I'm like, just talk how you're gonna. You don't gotta be, well, respect, miss. I go, and I appreciate that. But like, if this is your session, like if you're mad and you want to cuss and you want to.
let it out.
Let it out. Like, I'm not here to judge you, and I'm not a cop. I'm not here to just, let it out. Okay, miss. So, but yeah, it feels very 1995 sometimes. Like the things, that they're experiencing, and I'm just like, man. And then, I meet the parents who are younger than me, and I'm like,
I get it.
yeah, I'm like, all right, but I think it is important for them to know, like recently one of my kids asked, one of my clients asked, like, where were you born? I go, I was born and raised here. In this area? For real? And I go, yeah. Where do you live? I'm like,
You want my address too?
yeah, I'm like, not that it's any of your business, but I'm still part of the community. This is my community. Because they want to know, like, well, if you got this degree and that degree, I looked it up and like, shouldn't you be making like all kinds of money? And I'm like, well, what does making all kinds of money look like? What does that look like? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, yeah, miss, huh?
Because rent is this much. Bills are this much. This and this much. Yeah, it's this money.
Yeah. I said, but that doesn't change who I am or where I come from. And they're just like, I go, what am I supposed to do? Go to Orange County and like, what do I know about those people? Mm-hmm. What do they know about me? How am I going to... I could help them. Sure, I could sit there and let them talk all day to me, right? Like, okay, that'll be $200. Like, I'll bill your insurance. Fine.
We're going to be there, too. Because that's a goal. That's definitely a goal, though.
Yeah, yeah. And, eventually. But right now, I'm just, like, in love with the work that I do and where I do it. Because I want to give back.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, I can give back. Like, when they talk to me about, like... oh, miss, there was a swap meet right there, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's a freaking, like, I don't know, like a Dollar Tree. But back in the day, I'm like, you see that piercing? I got my piercing there because it was an indoor swap meet. Like, just little things like that. They're
like the Lincoln Heights one?
Yes. Like, little things, where to go eat and what this. And, so they're like, oh, okay.
So they just feel they just feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that that's important because I always remind them, like, you can be anything you want to be in this world. Doesn't mean that you're a sellout. Doesn't mean you have to forget where you came from. Doesn't mean you have to come back where you came from. But just this is all part of your journey, Because some of them, they just, like, want to get out. And I understand because we've been there, like, I just want to get out of the area. I don't want
Yeah, like, I'll never go back to live in the area.
Yeah.
Nothing like that, but it's like, no.
Like, for
unless
what?
I get, like, a house on Mount Washington, like, on the top or something, but...
Looking down on
Looking
everyone.
down, you don't see the whole area.
I made it.
This is my area.
This is my area. I live on Hill Drive. What? Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
I don't want to go live in an apartment.
Right.
And pay $1 million for one bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All hipstered out.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Drinking your mushroom coffee.
Wait, when you came back, was it already like...
Oh yeah, I was already... So when I was coming home on leave, like the transition was already happening. And I had asked my sisters, like, and they're like, we told you. And I'm like, I know you told me, but like, I don't think it really registered in my brain. But now it's like a totally different area. I mean, I got lucky the place that I found, but... yeah, it's
super hipster.
And I always say, and everyone's like, God, you like, why would you say that? And I'm like, well, just think about it. Like, the crime rate went down. All the guys got incarcerated and the girls, got incarcerated. Mm-hmm. And look at what happened. Because for all these years, it was a controlled area in many different ways, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone, I mean, there's all kinds of things on YouTube. Like, oh, yeah, the cops used to work with the gang members. Like, okay, agreed. Like, the politics was there. But then you take all of that away and all these people moved in and the rent and everything. Like, so the dream of us even owning a home in Mount Washington, I mean, we're all going to live together in one house.
Yeah, right?
I'll rent a room,
No, you're going to charge your clients
Right. That's gonna be my therapy
in Orange
room.
County.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make that drive or do it over Zoom. But yeah, that reality is just yeah.
Now, if I'm gonna pay $500, I need a face to face.
Right, we need a face to face. But yeah, that's the reality of the times that we're living in. But I just tell them like your teachers, your dentists, your doctors, your therapists, like school counselors, who like they don't look like how you think in your mind or how it shows in books.
It's so true.
Yeah, I'm like, you look at me and you're like, somebody get your tia, like who like no, that's my therapist. Like, oh, okay,
Love that.
I get invited to quinceañeras and they're like sitting there with my plate, like, hey, right? Like,
no, but that's so dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That you're able to do that. That how can I say this? Like that you overcame and you didn't get stuck, like a lot of us did.
Yeah. See, I don't look at you guys as stuck though.
I just mean like on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean to say like I was like
A santita?
but I think I don't know what's worse, like going out on the street or having it close to home. But again, I had like such beautiful influential people that were like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that. And like such a tightrope of like, and in reality, I didn't have to go anywhere. I lived right where,
Yeah.
But still like, being supportive in my own way, and I get that a lot of, and I'm not saying my family does, but just a lot of people feeling a certain type of way because I went to grad school or, like little comments, people give like little, like not the full knife stab, but like the tip.
It must be nice.
Like the little cut, and it's like, I chose what I chose and you chose what you chose. I'm not hating on you for choosing what you chose. Like, why you got to speak on me? And it's never to my face.
I was so happy and proud of you.
I know you were.
Like, hell yeah,
Yeah. So, because I have to be the example for like my little nieces, my great nieces, everyone else to come, like to change the dynamics of the family without losing sight of all the other stuff. Because I think the other stuff is important too, But the statistic of, they're just this and that, like really? Like, because we're not. Like, stop, like, making it Hollywood. Okay, like, stop watching American Me and Blood Out, like, stop. And that's another problem. The kids, it's so, like, fascinating to them. And I can't share, but I'm like, this is...
What do you tell them?
Is
like, as a therapist.
I'm helping them like process their feelings and just providing a safe space for them to share, right? I'm not there to tell them how to live their lives.
Okay.
Just giving them psychoeducation. So they're so fascinated with the gang life, which is why I want to have you come in or like Zoom and talk to even the young men, right? Because this is the age it started. Like, remember we were at Irving and we were seeing it. Like, we had LAPD on our campus. Like, it was cracking, right? Like, Irving was like, it didn't look the way it looks right now. Like, that was like little juvenile hall. You had all kinds of gangs there. It was bad. Like, walking into school and people just fighting.
You're
like,
so cute, though.
Thank you.
Your little smooth little face.
But, that's how a lot of things were introduced to us. And people were getting in trouble already. And you're talking like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And now you have like this generation now thinking that that's still where it's at. And in my head, I'm like, do you know where my generation is? Like, some of them have lost their minds. They're on the street. They got lost in the system. They're in prison or they're buried. That's just the reality. Like, so that's why I want to bring like more psychoeducation of like, like, let's talk about it. How did it start? And because I think it's important for the kids to hear it from the horse's mouth.
That's
like,
definitely true.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, hopefully you can get it approved.
I hope so. That's the plan because, like, I was super excited when you shared what you're doing because I've been telling you, like, you need to do that. You need, because people, they need to hear it and they need to know that somebody cares and that it's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's possible in a lot of different forms as far as like, like you just got to want it or even just like yourself. Like these kids are not even 18 so that they could enroll like yourself. Or even 30-year-olds that never gone to prison, never gotten in trouble, but they just have a drug problem.
Yeah.
that are just lost, or not even that, they just don't know what to do because you live here, you're out in this world, and let's just say the United States, what a beautiful country, right? Yes. But you get out of school and out of high school, and it's like you don't know if you want to go to college, like you said, and so you just go work anywhere, and you just spend 5 years doing nothing, going to work at whatever. I'm not knocking any job. I'm just saying, like this is what I told my son. Remember my son was going to enroll, they didn't accept him, and I was like, well, what are you going to do, son? Like, what are you just going to go work at the mall for the next 5 years? You could be the next 5 years serving the country, doing nothing, because there's no war right now, bro. You're not fucking getting deployed.
Yeah.
And it's just like how that, I feel like a lot of younger kids should really look at it. Like, you're going to go work for 5 years, or you go get deployed for 5 years and come back and have a whole stuff to fall back on.
Yeah.
To, for them to pay for your school, whatever the case might be.
Yeah. Whatever they want to do with it.
Exactly.
Or make a career. Some love it and never come back home. Yeah. Like, in the sense of like, this is my life now. I'm going to get married and have kids and travel the world.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Base. Yeah.
Hey, tell me about any base, like how is it for like the base families?
So that
if you like, obviously.
Yeah, so I was at Fort Bliss. I was in El Paso, Texas, right near Juarez. The irony of that was funny. But yeah, the base living is like you can get housing on base, on post, or they give you money from how you get paid. It's paid off of like your spouse and then how many kids you have. Like, I don't know.
That's why these fools want to have kids right away.
I lived in the barracks, because you get more money. But it's not a bad life. I would say like military kids. Like, we had an elementary school on post, and I would volunteer. And I got assigned to a third grade class, and like the most well-mannered little boys and girls, like, yes ma'am, no ma'am, because their mom or dad, or mom and dad, were in uniform and were raising.
Really?
But then you think like, okay, you transfer every 4 years, you're every 8 or however if you're lucky, but ideally you can transfer every 4 years. So these kids are traveling, they're like going to Germany, and
but they're not stable. So like how, like now that you're a therapist, like how that affects them as well.
Yeah, like mom not being there, dad not being there, and like the single moms. Like, I met a lot of single moms that
like basically in prison.
Yeah, like they had to have a family plan, family care plan, and like leave their kids and then go off and do their jobs, and then like the separation, that's hard. But they were doing what they had to do.
Yeah, and it's the right, and it's hard, but they're doing the right, like a good thing at least,
Yeah. Yeah, but I met some really good families, and I keep in touch with a lot of them, and they're all doing okay. But I can understand like the ones that don't, it's a lot. But the wives, I just like tip my hat off to them. I'm like, man, it's not easy to be a military wife in any branch of service. Like, you're dependent on. And some of those women were like the sweetest. Like, if we came back from the field, they were like there with food ready for us to eat, and like, And then you had your other ones that you're like, oh, you're being a horchata, like it happens. Horchata. Kind of like prison wives and prison girlfriends. Like, it could go one of two ways,
It's the same thing.
Right. Only the strong survive. Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? Because there's a lot of prison wives, prison girlfriends that love to have prison boyfriends.
Yeah. That's all they...
What do you think is... I'm sorry, Dick, but... You're a therapist. What's that? What do you think of
the appeal? I think, like, for myself, I understand it's like a lot of things for me. Busy and life, it's convenient, but I think like those men are so structured and so respectful and are very prideful. They carry themselves a certain way, and a lot of men out here don't. You do. I know people are like, oh, prison fool. I think it's just...
It's true, though.
It is. They pay attention and remember every little thing, because they have to for so many reasons. And then you got to think, like, if you really sit back and think, and I wrote a paper on it about, like, the men that were in the shoe. Normal people can't survive that. You have to have a part of your brain that just takes you somewhere else. Like, I imagine prison's probably hard enough as it is, and then you go to that extent, and then expected to, okay, we hunger strike, we're out, or in general pop, And then you got, even that's an adjustment. Like, that's amazing.
Because I've interviewed guys,
Yes,
on
you have.
Invited
Yeah.
that come out from that. And it's like, it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
To every single move. Even to having to live with somebody that's like, you just walked in and this guy's just coming out of doing 20 years. It's like,
and then expected to live a normal life, like work a 9 to 5, pay your taxes.
so that's why you think the girls.
I think that's the appeal. I think that for me, like, I didn't go looking for it, and it was somebody that I already knew, so I felt comfortable with him. But we still had so much to get to know about each other, and when we fought, we fought. When we were mad, we were mad. But for the most part, I think, like, yeah, it was that.
The way they carry themselves, the way they speak, like
Your time, like, you still, is it lonely? Yeah, but I didn't know what it was for me, for him and I didn't ever know what it was to live with him out here.
or even in general, because you were gone.
Yeah, we were kids. Like, we didn't even, like, he was like, oh my God, I had such a crush on you. I'm like, I couldn't stand you. I thought you were like a stupid cholo. Like, I'd see you in the park and like, ugh, roll my eyes at you. You know what I mean? So then we were adults. And then, it was just talking, communication, and
just someone there.
Someone always there.
Coming back from Afghanistan.
Yeah. Now that I understand it differently. I look at that relationship in such a different way. I don't regret it. I think it's a part of what I became and pushed me in certain ways. But I understand it. And I don't look at it like,
hey, that's kind of true though. Like, hey, he helped you as well. Like, as you helped him. Like, and because you say when you came back, you weren't yourself.
I wasn't. I was like very out of character, just trying to figure things out. Just trying to figure things out.
Out of character? What does that even mean?
Like, just out of character. Like, I just felt like I wasn't my old self.
Like, what were you, tell me, like, what kind of things were you doing that you will catch yourself?
Well, like,
for example, when I asked the guys, like, what is it, something that you still do, like, in prison?
Yeah.
That you come out and you still do?
Still doing?
Uh-huh.
So,
is
like,
it kind of like that?
Well, like, I still keep, like I still do it to this day, and sometimes I'm so routine. Yeah. I don't like my routine broken. I
like routine.
My friends try to do, like, a Sunday fun day. I'm like, I can't. And then one of my friends said a comment behind my back, and I found out, like, nothing bad, but just, like, really, you have to reset, and, like, and then my other friend was like, well, no, like, that's the house she grew up in. First of all, my mom was always like, on Sundays, you do this, and that. Make sure you're ready for the week. But I can't be, I'm not a drinker anyway, but I can't even be tired and show up on Monday and there's a kid, like, that had a weekend or a morning and they're sitting there crying, or some kind of trauma happened. Like, how is it fair to them that I show up not my best self?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I still laugh. I still keep my chanclas by my bed because I did that in the military. Like, there's still, everything is routine, and that's how I like it.
Yeah,
and that's probably
I like routine.
The prison routine probably calls to me for that as well.
Yeah,
because that's
what kept me safe. And since I came out, that's what kept me. And it's just like my first 40 minutes of my morning.
Yeah, everything's the same.
Yeah. I have to.
Even the way I do my eyebrows, I'm like, this one and then, everything is, I don't want it thrown off. I want it to be a certain way. And that's what I like. And that's where, and you still have your own time. Like, I know he's going to call at this and this time. I know he's not going to call at this time because he has yard, or he's going to program, or he's whatever, or the freaking Laker game's on. Like, yep, love you. Watch that. Call me when it's done.
Yeah.
Or let's watch it together. Cool. Call me when it's done.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But, I think that's probably the appeal. And then a lot of women that have experienced emotional or physical abuse in the past. Mm-hmm. That's a very controlled environment, right? Mm-hmm. Even your family visits. I've never experienced a family visit, but from what has been shared with me all these years, like...
Well, good thing you didn't, fool.
Is it? Go ahead and say it. Sorry, Dick. we don't have a physical connection.
Sorry, Dick. That's my boy. That's my boy.
Yeah, but it's a controlled environment. So I imagine that for a woman that's experienced a lot of trauma, that's probably a comfort, and they feel safest.
It's true. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, because you can only visit if you go, right? Mm-hmm. It's up to you. It's up to the visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So.
How do you feel?
About what?
Just in general. It's your first time. Is this like your first time actually sharing your story?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think I've been asked about like my military experience, and I share very little, but like my life, no one's really. I mean, I've shared, and people just kind of like,
really,
like, wow. I don't think of it as wow. I think of it like it is my life. But then when I get someone else telling me like wow, your life, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think for all of us, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit.
I believe that as well.
Like, you've been home how long now?
Since 2012.
And people are like, wow. And you're like, yeah, well, I've been home. Like, but
because to me, I still feel like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy. Mm-hmm. I feels like it was just yesterday. And I probably what's kept me in the right path besides my husband. He's really like...
Finding the perfect partner.
Yeah. I would never thought like...
What's perfect for you and what works for you.
You know, like, we just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone needs somebody. And it's funny, when I graduated, most of my graduation cards said, like, now you have the career of your dreams and you have all these accomplishments. Now you just need to find somebody who loves you. And I'm like, but why does that define, like...
Yeah, like, that doesn't define who you are. Mm-hmm. But most older women that are seeing, my sister's 37, she's me 38. Mm-hmm. She's not single right now, right? But she's just got in a relationship. She doesn't have kids either. And, and like, she'll answer it exactly like you. Like, it doesn't define, but it really doesn't. Mm-hmm. But obviously we live in this world where we think like, we need to have somebody. Mm-hmm. But then again, like, now we live in this world where we don't.
We don't. Yeah. I think like even...
We're not in Afghanistan where you got to freaking cover your face, bro.
Right. So... there was like studies. I was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal talking about women, and we're more career focused now, and not a lot of us aren't having kids. And like 10 years from now, like, all the school enrollments are going to go down. Like, there's going to be such a decrease, if not they are already, because people are just living different lifestyles now.
Like, it's not about the kids.
No. I mean, I love kids, don't get me wrong. I have like beautiful godchildren. I love my godchildren. My great nieces, my nieces and nephews, they're all adults, like thriving, living their lives, doing what makes them happy. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm just like, I listened to my sisters, like, they were very transparent with me about how hard it is. Your
little sister and your older
and my
sister.
Older sister. Yeah. Like, just seeing them, like, because we were all so close, living in the same house. Just being very involved with my nieces and nephews and getting to see them grow. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm okay. Like,
because you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the possibility of someone being there, maybe. But
hey,
yeah,
bro, like, you gotta be talking to somebody, Rich. Like,
I wasn't for a long time. I will say that.
Oh, okay, so she is.
When I was in. When I was in school, I was very focused. I tried to date. It didn't work out. But then I met somebody, and, it's
working out.
It's working out. Yeah. It's gradually, becoming what it's going to become. No labels, no nothing. But he's very supportive of my life decisions and what I do for a living and how focused I am.
Good.
And, so, but I think that's the thing, is allowing yourself some grace.
Yeah.
And I don't hate all men because of what happened to me. I don't think that, guys in prison are I don't, that's just
First
not
of all,
how
we love the guys in prison.
Yeah, we love you guys in prison.
Love the boys.
Yeah, shout out to the guys in prison. But yeah, I just think like everything that I experienced molded me, and I know what I will put up with and what I won't, and I won't put up with a lot, like the cheating and the, and again, it happens, and I understand, but like, I have the luxury of not having kids and not being married. I haven't built my empire with a partner. I'm building it on my own. Is that the long-term goal? Of course, like every queen needs a king, my point of view. But there are things I'm just not willing to put up with.
Well, yeah, because you work so hard to be where you're at, to have another person tell you like, hey, don't do this anymore. Or I don't, or
cheat and lie,
or cheat and lie.
We're too old for that.
Yeah. Main thing, cheat and lie.
Cheat and lie. Those are my 2 deal breakers.
That, because you could be a workaholic, you could do this, but don't cheat. Don't cheat, don't do drugs, and don't hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put your hands on me because I'm going to put my hands back on you. And you ain't going to like it. But
Because she's been on missions.
yeah, I mean, I think it's not that hard. I think if you're not happy, then talk about it. Communication. But I think so many people, and that was my attraction to my person now, was the communication and not trying to control me, allowing me to just be Amanda. And
I love that you said, because I feel exactly what you said is how I feel about my husband. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll tell me to tone the fuck down, but you see it. You've been.
But that's love too.
You've been with us. You see us like.
Yeah,
you
know,
love
like, you guys.
I could be myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's a buzzkill.
But it's time to go home.
But he lets me be me.
But you need that. We all need that both ways, right?
Yeah,
like he needs you in certain ways, and you need him in certain. And then that's okay to say that.
Himself, and I'm still myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't even read on TikTok, right? This is like older Japanese guy. What is this? What is it? It's an AI. He's an AI thing, right?
Okay.
But he's a little Asian old man. And he talks, he's spirit, like he talks about, don't do these kind of things because it's bad energy. I'm all into him. Mm-hmm. Started following the AI and all kinds of things, right? And he said, like, never be with somebody and tell them they can't do something that they already been doing when you met them.
Yes.
Because they're not going to change for you. You're going to change for them. Mm-hmm. Even though you don't want to change. But because you're going to deal with something they don't want to change.
Yep. It's kind of like people who are addicts or alcoholics. You met that person and it was party time and you saw how much they drank or you saw how much they used. And now you're getting it together because maybe you weren't so far down the rabbit hole. And now you expect them to. Or now it bothers you when it's, and you see it like, a lot of the kids I talk to, like, oh, well, my dad comes home from work and then goes right to the garage and drinks. But that's just the routine, right? And then all of a sudden, mom is tired of it, your wife's tired of it, and it's a problem. Like, but how long has this been going on? Mm-hmm. And when you met, how long has it? Uh-huh. So it's what you're going to put up with.
Exactly.
And you have to set those boundaries in any relationship, in a friendship, in anything, you have to set them. Like, this is what I won't tolerate, and this is what I don't want to put up with.
Yeah. Like, I had a friend, rest in peace to her now, but I literally had to tell her, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't like the way you make me feel. She's like, well, you're tripping, Nela. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I'm tripping so hard. I can't be your friend anymore, bro, because I don't like the way you make me feel. Mm-hmm.
And what was her response? Just...
That's it.
Yeah.
So, come pick up your keys. We even had each other's house keys in case for an emergency.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't like when you set boundaries.
No.
Because they take it as a negative thing. But it's not. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to, it's like you're more powerful to yourself. Not, because I'm better and I don't need to deal with this. Mm-hmm. No, but because I don't want to have a bad day.
Yeah.
I don't like the way this makes me feel. So you know what? I'm going to remove myself. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that it's going to hurt you because you're not going to be able to be the same way. But I need to move myself. Mm-hmm. And that goes with, like you said, friendships, relationships, even with your kids.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. No, I'm not a cool mom. Like,
I'm a cool mom, but I'm not a cool mom.
like that.
I'm terrible, actually. I'm not going to be that cool Tia that's going to tell you, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. I'm going to, okay, cool. I'm going to pump you up when you're dancing, da-da-da-da-da-da. But don't be doing dumb things. I don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at me. You probably talk poop about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so boundaries is everything.
And saying no, learning how to say no is another big one.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to go somewhere, but I got to go because, no, just say no. Why? Well, Dick.
Because I don't feel bad.
They wrote me, Dick. So they wrote you. Okay. Did you ask them to write you? No. So if you don't want to go do something, say no. And then ask yourself why you don't want to go. Because if someone's going to be there you don't want to see, or you're tired, just be honest and say, because I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the hardest thing for us is like boundaries and learning how to say no.
You where you're at now, before we end, obviously, because we're talking about you now here, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're at. you as a therapist, what is something that you would want to tell somebody or, let out for people to hear? Do you get what I'm saying? Something you want to say there?
I think everyone's journey is different. It's beautiful no matter the tosses, the turns, the ups and the downs. Mm-hmm. And to allow yourself grace, allow yourself that time to, hey, I did that, but that's not all I am. Hey, I used to do this, but that's not all I am. And to just be okay to change. And you don't need anyone's approval to do that.
Love that.
Because I think we worry too much about what this person, how society's going to judge us. And that's why social media, it's like the perception versus the reality, right? Like even those pictures of traveling the world, there's Instagram and then there's the reality. Not everything is as it seems.
Yeah.
And allow yourself that time.
And that's why I was like, so like when my husband was like, let's do this channel. Let's do this pod. And I'm like, okay. I don't want to just be the prison girl. Especially because I read comments, right? And they're like, she's obsessed with prison. And it's like, bro, it's a fucking prison channel. Like, what else are you going to fucking hear? But go watch the Color Brown podcast.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with prison.
Right.
Are we going to talk about it? If we're able to, it's the easiest, most comfortable topic for me.
Right.
So
why not? And then especially the way, like I said, like it's like, it almost feels like it's 30 years ago and everything has come back. And you have this younger generation that are obsessed with that style, the look. And
let me ask you, since you brought that up, how do you feel about the younger kids dressing up like cholos before? Because it's not a culture thing.
No. I think that some of them aren't ready for what that kind of attention that brings.
But let me say this as well. The actual gang members these days don't dress like that.
They have Edgars. They have Edgar haircuts. You wouldn't even know one if you walk, they're all incognito. Where when we were young, bald head, right? Like the first thing your PO would tell you, like, you got to grow your hair, Like you can't wear, they were wearing like size 40 plus, you look
50s.
like a home. Oh, those size 50s though.
It's rich.
No, but it was different. Yeah. I think like when they try to bring it back, it's like a rebellion, but I think
cute.
It's not cute. And the ones that do, like, you don't understand it, and then you'll meet the parents, and you're like, okay, I understand how you were shown. But the ones that didn't, it's because it's being shown, or they have a friend at school that's dressed like that.
But what do you think about the parents that obviously were, let's just say, they're, I'm not talking poop, you guys, but like in the lowrider scene,
right?
Most of the dads are, they're probably ex-gang members, or they have the
Pendleton, like that's how they've always dressed. Mm-hmm.
But why? Like, do you think it's okay for them to let the little kids dress like that? Like, what do you think?
Like, should they decide? Like let the kids decide what style. Like, let them have a little comb over, cute little boy haircut. Like, why do you gotta make them like high socks and that? Yeah, I think that.
I'm like, answer me as a therapist.
Like, why are you pushing? No.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think like, and I'm not a parent, so I'm always like mindful of that, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that it's cute, it's the attention, it's the social media. Mm-hmm. Until that little boy or that little girl becomes of the age where they're getting pulled over, they're getting hit up, then things start happening. And it's like, well, look at how they're dressed. Or even the initial belts that came back. I'm like...
Yeah, but the cholos that are active are not wearing that.
They're not wearing
so
that.
So you could distinguish them.
Right. I think like just let your kids be who they want to be. I think that, educate them in the way of like being smart and safe, no matter what smart and safe looks like. Because depending where you live, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't go out at night. You have a curfew. I need to meet parents and all of that. Like, no, you're not going to the freaking liquor store. I'll drive you. We'll go together. Like, just being mindful of things like that, like having a good balance. But I think like, yeah, pushing a style onto them, unless it's cultural, right? Then, yeah, I would say just be ready for what, kind of like what you bring into your home, right?
That part. Yeah.
Your mom is partying with the homeboys from, because you live in the neighborhood or whatever. Well, don't be surprised when your son or daughter
becomes like that. That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm.
And that's where you don't realize it, that kids are always watching us. Even for me, like little things I can do, and then I'll look and I'm like, oh, they're doing. I'm like, okay, So just to always be mindful. As I imagine it's, again, I'm not a parent. It's a hard balance, but I think working with the age group I do, they are so impressionable. So when I'm listening to them, I'm really just listening. And when I'm observing them and watching them, whether it's in the classroom or on the schoolyard, I'm really just like.
And you really do watch every, like the way they move, like their hands, like everything.
Yeah, the style that they're changing, especially the girls, like this. Some of them like come dressed in the same thing. Remember we used to do that? Like, what are you wearing to school tomorrow? Or one girl like was like a complete one style, and then they start adapting to their best friend style because they're still trying to figure themselves out. Like they have the hormones, and they're still trying to figure themselves out.
That's kind of like where you could tell if they're going to be a follower or not.
Yeah. And then what do you do?
That's a really good way to put it.
And I can tell them all day, every day, how amazing they are and give them all these therapeutic tools. But it's when they go home. Yeah, that's the hard part.
It's funny that it's not funny, but it's like something like I've heard my husband or even myself tell Cupid, like, hey, don't do that. We're not a follower. Just because he's doing it doesn't mean you need to do it. That's not what you do. That's not what Cupid does.
Good.
Don't be a follower, And that's something that parents do need to. I'm not I'm not like what's it called? One of those parenting people or whatever.
But you're a parent and you have life experience.
I guess that's true. Like, just, really talk to your kids. I feel like we make our kids be how they're going to be,
Communication.
Yeah.
Like, to be respectful. Like, when you have kids that are, like, disrespectful, even if it's, like, to the school staff in the front office, my chair has, like, the office chair's, like, wheels, and I'm like, excuse you? If I call your grandma right now and tell her how you're, miss, and I'm like, show some respect. Yeah. Like, but you can tell, right? Like, you can tell
how much your parents are in your life. And even if your parent works, like I'm sure your mom worked, my mom worked at all times.
All the time, yeah.
At all times, like, single mom, like, but you still have respect.
Yeah.
You still speak well. You still say, excuse me, good morning.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Like,
these kids don't even open the door.
Good morning for me is like the best thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was walking Cupid to school, and we were walking, and one of the teachers, and she said, "Hi, good morning, Cupid." And he said, "Good morning, Miss." Da 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 da.
Oh,
and I was like,
"That's my baby."
I never heard him say that, like, ever, right? So I was like, okay, it made me feel good. It made me feel good. Like, okay, I'm being a good mom.
Yeah, I say my good mornings. I get some of them back, and I don't, but I don't get offended. Like, if I say good morning, they don't say it back. I'm not like, I said good morning. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I don't take offense to it. I always tell them,
it's your job.
Yeah, and I always tell them, like, I'm a therapist. I don't have feelings, so you can't hurt my feelings. And they just like, but
like how mean.
Yeah, or like sometimes, like if I do things like, oh, good morning, or oh, and they're like, Miss, why'd you do that? I'm like, why not? Or if I say like, ladies, or excuse me, gentlemen, like, Miss, why'd you call us gentlemen? I'm like, but how did you feel when I called you a gentleman? Yeah, Miss. Or how'd you feel? Like, excuse me, sir. And they're like, oh, me? And I'm like, yeah. Like, how did that make you feel when I said referred to you in that way? And they're like, oh.
They're not used to that.
Or I ask them, like, is it okay if I want them to look up your grades. Is it okay if I look up your grades? Like, are you good with that? And they're like, because no one's ever asked them.
Yeah. That's good. I'm like, that's good. We're getting game right now, you guys. No. But you're okay?
I'm good. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
All right. And you want to share anything else?
I think like the whole stigma with mental health, I just, I think I understand some people don't want to talk to a therapist, but I will say try it at least once. And finding the right therapist is like finding your favorite pair of shoes. You got to try a few of them on. So you find your one pair. Like, it's okay to say you're not going to work out for me. But there's something about talking to a stranger that's not going to judge you or tell you how to live your life.
I'm all about talking to strangers. I can talk to a stranger anywhere. I'm going to talk. No matter where I'm at, I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
And even when I was in my addiction, I was the same way.
You were always a talker, though.
Yeah.
You were always a talker.
I'm never afraid to hold my feelings or just let the shit out, Let me get it off of me. There you go. You could keep it. You want to go tell somebody else, I gave it to you. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would say. And yeah, just the younger generation, if you have like a teen in your house, in your as a neighbor or whatever, like just kind of look out for them because there's so much going on in the world right now and in our communities, and these kids, whether they ask for it or not, they need guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
What about her sweater, you guys? Let me tell you guys a quick story. Quick story before we go on her sweater. So we did a show. We were Eric, my husband, was hosting the show, and obviously if he's hosting, I'm there. You know, I'm on the flyer, whatever. And my friend always comes, and she's so supportive, right? So the first year she came, we did it. She came and she had a shirt. Her and her sister had a shirt. We said, "We love Negra." It was like the cutest
In
thing.
Old English.
In Old English, right? This is before the Color Brown podcast. So then this was exactly a year because it came out in my stories today.
Oh,
like
like
memories.
Yeah.
And then she came to the show again, and then she came with her sister, and they had the matching sweaters of the Color Brown podcast. Mm-hmm. That's love and that's support, and that's when you know you got a real friend.
I'm your cheerleader for real.
No, definitely my cheerleader. She's on my lives every time. Like she doesn't have social media, but you could catch her ass on the YouTube premieres, on the releases of the episodes.
I'm on the chat.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
I'm gonna get an Instagram. Like maybe I'll just create one so you can like, I don't know. I just I hate what social media is used for now, and I just don't want to get like I'm so mindful. Like I just don't want to like get wrapped up in it. Like I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I work so hard to like climb out of it, so I'll think about it. I don't know.
But it's only people like that.
I'm gonna follow Noam. I'm gonna have like 2 followers.
No, but I feel like it's like people that don't have social media that think that way.
Probably.
Because we wouldn't be able to live without social media.
I know. No. Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't follow no damn rabbit hole.
I guess
it's probably the people that you like. I don't know if it was your friends. Not just.
Other friends out there. Yeah. So maybe, like just not have any friends and just have a professional one. Like just keep it out there and something go. Like that. I'm going to have you two help me create that.
Eric,
create that IG page.
Yeah, that would be good, especially because you want to have your own practice.
Yeah.
So that would be good.
Bring awareness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll have a lot of people reaching out, believe it or not.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to work on it, you guys. Well, again, thank you for coming and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.